Of all ages, welcome to this week's episode of Cloud Talk Live. So glad that you are here. That's right. Good morning. It's Tuesday. We're here at Rackspace's corporate headquarters. I'm going to explain that in just a minute. But first, I'm going to welcome you all here. Thank you for taking some time out of your day to be a part of the program. And I'm back in the castle. I was traveling last week. We had issues. I'm going to have to re-record all that, but that's okay. But I'd love to know who you are as you join. I'd love to know where you are in the world. So feel free to whatever platform you're on, LinkedIn, YouTube, go ahead and introduce yourself. And I'd love to welcome you here. We got some great guests. This is the AWS Know Before You Go episode. So if you have questions, got some great guests who are going to have all of the answers. I'd love for you to type them in right down there where you're typing your name in right now. So go ahead and do that. And if you want to get a hold of us here at the Solve program, it's as easy as sending an email to solve@rackspace.com. Now, real quick, I want to talk about what's behind me here. Now, last week I spent the week traveling. That's right. I was in South Florida Sean, you're going to appreciate this. I was in South Florida for a conference with some of our partners. And of course, a little hurricane rolled over, but that's no problem. We can handle that. But what it meant is I was away from Rackspace corporate headquarters on Veterans Day. And I've been looking forward to on this little mobile production desk that I have from setting up here in front of the Rackspace vet wall. And here at Rackspace, we love our veteran employees. We have veterans of all sorts, but also our employees. But we have a placard that's back there that represents each one of our employees who were servicemen and women in any of the branches. My brother's name's back there. That's right. He used to work here. Mark. Hey, Mark. Hi, if you're watching. I don't think he watches. He gets enough of me. But at any rate, I thought it appropriate to set up here and pay tribute to, we don't have to wait just for Veterans Day, but to be able to pay tribute to our Rackspace veterans. So thank you so much. By the way, this is a permanent installation and not something we put up once a year. And so super excited to be able to be here. So Sean, glad you enjoyed that. And thank you, Sean, for your service. Hey, Ireland's here today. Welcome, Ireland. The entire country has arrived. Thank you. All right, let's move on here. What else is going on in our world? Folks, if you have not already subscribed to the Cloud Talk podcast, I was just doing some brainstorming this morning with myself around what this is going to look like in 2023. And oh boy, do I have a cool idea. So I got to talk to producer Daniel a little bit later and see what he thinks. But we've got some big things planned for the audio version of the podcast that will set it apart from what we do here in our conversations on Tuesday mornings with that part of Cloud Talk Live. But if you haven't already subscribed, you got to do that now. Otherwise, you're going to miss it. Hey, we got Farad from Iran. Welcome, Iran. We don't have folks from there very often. So I'm so glad that you're here. And thanks for introducing yourself. Now, a couple of 3-4 weeks ago, we did our first what we call Cybersecurity Summit. Hey, Virginia and Maryland are here. Woohoo! And but the Cybersecurity Summit was an incredible event. It was truly hybrid. We did it from the event center way back there and had 4 great security experts, a couple of CISOs in there, product people. One of our partners was there. We had incredible showing. We've had over 4,300 people watch that so far. And so I'd love, if you're interested in checking that out, just go over to Rackspace's YouTube channel. You know how easy it is to find? Type in YouTube, go to YouTube, type in Rackspace Technology. We're right there. There you go. You'll be able to watch the entire thing. I am due to create a highlights reel, but you want to watch the whole thing. If you're into cyber or you use a computer or have anything tech related, this will really help you out. All right, a few more states and countries to welcome. Illinois is here. Mexico is here. Oh, Colombia, not Cambodia. Those are very different places, in case you wondered. Well, today's episode, as I mentioned before, is all about the AWS reInvent conference that is coming up. Well, really just in 2 weeks. 2 weeks from today, I will be live from Las Vegas. That's right, we're going to do it live. In fact, we built this entire production rig to be able to take there. And yes, it is battery operated or can be. So maybe we'll just do it out from the strip. Woo-hoo, wouldn't that be interesting? Who knows what we'd see? Well, Nigeria is here. I got to stop and welcome Nigeria. Thank you for coming and being a part of our program. If you have any questions about reInvent, not sure if you're coming, that'd be a flight, but I'd love to answer those. But for the conversation today, I've invited a couple of folks here who are AWS reInvent experts. Well, they're smarter about it than I am. I've spent a lot of my time in the past, very centric to the Microsoft ecosystem. So this will actually also be my first time to go and spend at the AWS reInvent conference. And so I've invited Matt Puccio and Adam Fanello here. They are both rackers. They've both spent a couple of 3, 4, 20 different times at reInvent. We'll let them fill in the blanks there. But our goal here is I've asked them to come in. Well, first of all, to educate me. What do I need to know before I go? But also educate you. Now, we're going to do this in 2 ways. One, we're going to talk about those of you who are going to be there, some strategies for surviving the week. What do you need to see? But also those who may be watching online, what are some of the great events that you may want to dial in for and be a part of? So with that, where's my friend Adam and Matt? Let's bring them up onto stage. Hey, there we go. So Matt, good morning.
Good morning, Jeff. How we doing?
Oh, fantastic. So I also have to apologize to Matt and Adam because they are West Coast time and they're feeling, no, wait, let's rephrase that because Adam corrected me before. They're in reInvent time already. And that's a little bit earlier than it is here in Central Time. But they got up early. They made it in time. So thanks so much for being here. Matt, why don't you introduce yourself? Tell the good folks what you do and what fills your day.
Yeah, thanks, Jeff. So my name is Matt Puccio, and I'm the director here for our cloud native development and IoT professional services group with Inside of Rackspace. And pretty excited here to help give some tidbits on what's going to be the best for folks heading over to reInvent.
Excellent. Thanks for being here. Adam, your turn. What fills your day? Who are you?
I'm a also work right under Matt as in cloud native development as a practice manager. I actually spend a lot of my day working on solution and software architecture, both for projects and a little more big picture, reusable.
Got it.
How we could be more productive.
And we've gotten a little bit elaborate with our booth at reInvent, and there may be some things we'll talk about that you had your hands in as well. All right, so Matt, how many times have you been to the big show?
So this will probably be, I think it's about my 7th year right now.
Incredible.
Most of the time, pretty consistent all the way through, but it never gets old, to be completely honest, no matter if it's your first or your last.
All right, so for the first timers, big picture. What's it like walking in? What are we dealing with? Number of people, logistics, just kind of broad brush it for us.
Yeah, when you first walk in for first timers, it'll definitely blow your mind just seeing the production value behind everything that you're going to go pretty much go into. It's fairly spread out all over the strip, and it's gotten wider and wider over the years. So definitely be prepared to walk. First thing you want to do, definitely check in, get your badge, take care of a lot of the logistics, hotels, make sure that all your stuff's there. Laptops are charged and that you're feeling good because it's going to be a long day. Check-in's actually fairly easy with the amount of people that they have. But I do recommend going at sort of an odd time. If you get there, either fly in a little bit early, it'll save you actually quite a bit of time in lines waiting just for to check in at the reInvent.
Got it. Yeah, that's some advice that I had heard as well. So I think I get there Sunday midday-ish. I'm debating whether I go a little earlier or not. But Adam, how about you? What's some that big brush? In fact, let me ask you this question. Let's ask this question. What did you think when you first walked in for the first time and said, "Look at that sea of humanity"?
It was certainly the biggest event I've been to. I haven't been to CES or Comic-Con, which probably the scale of this is more in that range.
Yeah.
These I've been to centers at hotels before, little events, and hey, look, there's a series of rooms. You can walk from one end to the other
Right.
in a few minutes. This thing, it's I don't even know what to compare it to. Disneyland maybe, and that would be just the convention center for one hotel, right? That's just the Venetian.
Yeah.
It is huge. It's pretty plush. You look out the window. There's a golf course. It's all carpeted. I've been like other convention centers. It's all cement. This is not cement. It is a beautiful facility, and it. Yeah, I mean the biggest impression is this place is massive, and I've only seen a piece of it, and then you get in the shuttle, you go to another one, and there's another massive property with more going on.
Yeah, I've been to several shows in events in Las Vegas, and again, this place is meant to handle large amounts of people, and you'll be centric to one hotel, one property, one event center, all of that stuff. They sort of take over almost the entirety, what feels like the entirety of Las Vegas. I mean, we're talking 60 or 70,000 people here. That's a lot of people.
And it's really bizarre too to be riding that shuttle along the strip and see these giant, electronic billboards
Yeah.
advertising things like VMware. like,
Yeah, it's like
this
we
is
live in our
this is
geek
very
bubbles
odd.
and we see our own advertising and the things that we go look at. But then here you are out on the strip that you're used to seeing. NBC, come watch this show, or buy this drink, and now you see the thing
Yeah,
like, "Hey, Kubernetes is the way to go, and we're the best at it." What alternate
right.
reality did I fall into?
But
The
the
only
interesting thing
time
is,
you'll see Rackspace logo on the Las Vegas Strip.
One
interesting
time a
thing
year.
though is with all these people, because these facilities are so big, even with all these people, most of the time it doesn't feel crowded. You're in these giant, the hallway will be 50 feet wide that you're walking through. And so it's not a cattle run most of the time. Now, if you're waiting
Right.
to like get into the expo the moment it opens or into a keynote, yes, you will be wall to wall humanity. But most of the time when you're just walking through these facilities, it's not that crowded because they're
That's
just
good.
so huge.
Well, and when I travel, those who know me know that I spend a ridiculous amount of time thinking about what could happen on this trip and how do I prepare for those things. But there is some survival aspects to going into one of these environments because just even when you think about the logistics of the distance. For instance, one of you mentioned is your laptop charged? Well, you got to go more than the laptop because you're not going to probably be able to plug into anything. So, what battery packs are you bringing along? I'll show you mine here in a minute.
Mhm.
Water, snacks. I never leave anywhere without snacks. What about other survival tips that you guys might have?
Depends on how much snacking you really need because they do feed you
Yeah.
twice a day. I think it's twice. Do you get breakfast? I forget. I think so. I believe you get breakfast and lunch, and it is like generous amount of food. So I don't need snacks.
Mm.
So if you're, I mean, depend, yourself.
Yeah.
Everybody's different, but you're not going to lack for food. Um, there are, I seem to recall not having a problem with power. There are places to
Good.
just plug. And man, I think I just, you just pull up a wall and plug into an outlet.
Yeah, there's quite a bit of people just scattered around these different locations, and it looks a little off at first, where they're just all huddled around their plugs, the power plugs. But there is plenty of power no matter
Okay.
where you
Yeah.
go. I definitely recommend, like you mentioned, a battery bank just in case,
Yep.
especially if you have important things that you're going to be doing in between your sessions, right? So a lot of people are
Mhm.
on their laptops working on getting projects done. The workday doesn't stop for most of these folks, and it's pretty
Yeah.
funny to see them do half and half, right? Work and
Right.
then really
In a
try and
session,
pay
committing
attention.
code, all the fun stuff.
You will see it, I guarantee it.
Well,
Someone
it
will
is.
I
push
was
the production.
I was
That's
actually there
awesome.
last year and met up with the clients, and they actually had a production issue with the client I was been working with. So we were there at a little bar table
There you
fixing the
are, shoulder to
problem at
shoulder, fixing the
reInvent.
problem. Incredible. Well, let's talk about the education, the sessions themselves. What are you guys looking forward to? What should people be putting on their schedules and their session builders? It's Matt. Let's start with you.
Yeah, so I got a couple notes here. There was one that is about modern applications. It's called Modern Applications, an Infrastructure Perspective, and really just building modern applications and how to manage that infrastructure for things like serverless applications
Yeah.
or what it looks like in Dockerized environments. So that's one I definitely marked down to check out. Um, One more that I wrote down. I have a couple actually, but one more I'll mention right now before I jump it over to Adam is um, obviously we're an IoT group here as well with inside of cloud native development, and so there's a session called "Unlock the Potential of IoT Internet of Things in the Travel and Hospitality Industry." And
Mm,
for me, this is fairly interesting, not only because it's IoT and everyone loves playing with hardware and seeing how it's applied, but also two new industries really looking to adopt it and seeing how they're getting creative to add, specific types of hardware to
Yeah.
either change their customer experience, or up their operational efficiency for both those industries. So that should be pretty interesting.
That does sound interesting. Real quick, so your first one about building modern applications. Now our audience here is a pretty savvy group of folks, but there's also some new folks to cloud because and let's define what that actually means. So when moving to the cloud, you've got one of two options. You can kind of lift and shift the thing over and run in a whole bunch of VMs, very much like you might have been doing inside of your data center with a few augmentations. But what does it mean to build or transform an app to become modern?
Yeah, and the way it's a little bit of a cloudy word these days. Well, muddied the water in the way
Yeah,
that the word has been used these days.
yeah.
But really, at the heart of it, it's just more or less harnessing the true power of the cloud providers to get the best for your application. And this could come in a multitude of ways, right? It could be in possibly using APIs and container orchestration platforms
Mm,
that are completely hosted by, say, AWS.
yeah.
So you don't have to manage a whole lot of the infrastructure underneath it. But it also could mean other things too, which is going all in and building, say, serverless applications on top of AWS. So there's zero infrastructure to manage. And you really just have to work on wiring the business logic of your application again.
The beauty of, and we could probably spend another hour and a half of the pros and cons and things you have to be careful of and why it's brilliant and amazing. But maybe we can unpack that a little bit more. But you know what? Matt and both Matt and Adam, of course, will be there. And you can ask them that question there in our booth. And I'm going to show you exactly where that booth is here shortly. But Adam, I want to bounce it over to you. What's one or two things that you're looking forward to on the agenda for reInvent?
So there are um, the basis. Sorry. A big part of what we do, of course, is cloud native development. So our focus is on these serverless first sort of services
Yeah.
from AWS. And so core pieces of that is uh, Lambda
Hmm.
and SVS 402. Don't be thrown off by it being 400 level. This is best practices of advanced serverless developers. It's mainly Lambdas and everything around it
Yeah.
is what they focus on. And if you've used lambdas at all, you're at least familiar with them, go ahead and go in. Don't worry about it being 400. Some of it will go over your head, but that's fine. You will absorb something. I've been working with lambdas for like 4 or 5 years now, and I attended that last year and was blown away. And I had to rewatch it afterwards to absorb more. It's chock full of useful information. I'm working with lambdas and AWS serverless in general. Uh,
I'm a huge proponent of spending time with people and in sessions and in environments that are 2 or 3 clicks ahead of where you are. That into all things music. I play a little bit of guitar, but and in fact, I watched this one session one time with this amazing bass player, and his name is Victor Wooten. And Victor goes on to say, when you are a little, kindergartner or a child, they don't only let you talk to other kindergartners. You have adults and people who are having conversations around you. It's how you learn the words. It's how you learn, where you should be aspiring to. So, absolutely great advice there, Adam. About don't be afraid of some 400 sessions. In fact, go into a few that look really intimidating. You won't get it all, but you'll get a lot of it.
and speaking of modernization with Matt, there's a SVS 310, especially if you work with Java. It is a session where they're going to tell you how to move from a serverful platform and something like Java Spring and make it modernized into Lambda. So that looks interesting.
That
I
does
don't
sound
actually
interesting.
work a lot with Java anymore, but I
But
thought
there's still a
if you
lot of it
do,
out there.
oh yes, there's a lot of it. I mean, AWS itself is a lot of those services are built with Java.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of the nice
But
things you'll see this year is you'll see a lot more practicality in the way that the sessions are. And like the one Adam just mentioned, it's a practical use case that a lot of people are dealing with today of moving from Java applications into a microservice or function oriented service architecture. So
Yeah.
I definitely recommend taking a look at that one that Adam mentioned because it'll be practical to a lot of folks, which helps people just sort of wrap their head around things like that.
Yeah.
Well, one thing I like about those sort of sessions as well, when they're practical, when we're talking about these event-driven things, is I painted this picture before that the move to the cloud was sort of binary. You either going to lift and shift, or you're going to do this big transformation. Where in my experience, where I see folks be very successful is it starts with some sort of a catalyst. I got to leave my data center for some reason for my application. Get it out into into AWS or cloud of choice. But you don't have to start with a full-on transformation. I love to deconstruct applications. Look for those services that we can pull off to be now event-driven, and little by little, that transformation on a strategic roadmap can then be implemented. Well,
Yep.
one of the things that people get really excited about at big conferences is the swag. So, Matt, you've been there for 7 years. Adam, you've done a couple of years. What's your favorite swag been over the years? What's been the one thing you went, holy cow, no way?
I'm a big fan of the jackets or the sweatshirts. For some reason, I love having a nice sweatshirt, and everyone's giving them out. I think one year there was a drone that you could get from someone's booth, the little tiny ones, and they were so fun to fly around. Obviously, when they had like 100 of them, everyone immediately took them out and started flying them around the conference rooms and things like that. The water bottles are great. I think they're actually extremely useful for a lot of folks who've forgotten them. So those were some of my favorites right off the bat.
Nice. Adam?
Yeah, the best swag is actually from AWS itself. Make sure you get them
Yeah.
all, both when you check in, and if you're certified, go to there's a special lounge for people who are AWS certified, and you'll find some more stuff there. Um, at the expo, that's where you find a lot of swag. A lot of it's just stickers. Um, I do have last year got a little talking Yoda or Grogu actually, um, and so I had to get that for my wife because she loves Grogu. Uh,
Nice.
yeah, I have way too many. Like I wear uh tech T-shirts now. That's I have an Onco on right now. That's all I wear to work anymore because I picked up so many
So
T-shirts.
many over the years. I've got a ton of them as well. I hate to say some of them maybe are when I'm doing work outside. Well, let me, Daniel, bring me up, I think on the big screen here. That's the wrong one to show you. There we are.
There we
So
are.
for those of you who are going to be there, this is what the expo hall is will look like. So you'll come in from down here. There's your big entrance, and you in the center you've got the big AWS village. Now, there's a place you're going to want to come and hang out. Now I'm going to scroll. Let's go out a little bit. If you just go past that AWS village and into here, then somewhere around here is Rackspace. I found it before. Now I can't find it. Oh, there we are. So right back here in the corner, this massive 20 by 20 is the Anika by Rackspace technology. And that's where Adam, that's where Matt and myself will spend a crazy amount of time. So let's zoom out so you guys can get that in your head. It is booth number 244. That's right, 244. So go to AWS Village, hook a right, and then we'll be on your left right there. So that's important to go to because we've got all kinds of cool swag stuff there as well. There will be live sessions that we'll be delivering in the booth. So we've got some really good information there. But I mentioned before that Adam had his hand in an event that's going to happen there. And I'll tell you the name. It's called the Knights of AI. So Adam, why don't you tell them high level description? What is the Knights of AI?
Knights of AI is a interactive game built, of course, in AWS, serverless first technology, machine learning vision, and you will become a knight of AI. We will hand you a laser sword, which you get to keep. That's your swag, and stand in
Lightsaber,
front of a
people.
green.
Lightsaber.
No, trademarked. Trademarked. That's a light
Thing that
sword.
looks like laser sword.
um, you'll stand in front of a green screen, with some big monitors in front of you, and it will show you the poses, and you strike these nightly poses as quickly as you can, and get scored. That is on the big screen too, the leaderboard, and the winner each day gets cool gifts. I believe it's some sort of smart speaker or something like that.
I had one of those here. Yeah. Sweet little JBL jobs. You're going to want to come check those out. So
But
built
it's gonna be a lot
entirely
of fun.
on AWS, if as you mentioned. So
Oh,
what are some of the
of course.
services behind the scenes that are making it all come together?
Well, the AI SageMaker, and
Mhm.
then the interface, we have our usual serverless first platforms, the cloud native development, and your Lambdas, your API gateways. We got API, both the RESTful API gateways and WebSocket, uh, DynamoDB. SNS is our event broker because it is all event driven. S3, CloudFront, uh, probably something else not thinking of.
A whole lot of stuff, all driven there. All right. Well, we are getting towards the top of the hour, so we're getting to the end of our time here. Matt, one more thing that you might recommend people do while they're there.
Yeah, the last thing I would say, and I didn't want this to go left behind here, is you're going to be spending a lot of time around a lot of people you've never met before, folks, right? Take the time, talk to the people around you, try and network as much as possible. One, it's going to make your day a lot more enjoyable just learning who's around you, and there's a lot of smart people. Two, they may have some information that'll just be valuable to you later on in the day. They'll tell you about another session, or who knows, for those traveling with smaller parties, they may just want to get a beer with you afterwards. So it's a great way to meet people. There's plenty of folks around. Enjoy and have fun, make the best of it.
Yeah. Hey, can we wait, Megan, come here. So there are really nice people in the world, and one of them is Megan Fleming. Megan just walked up and tried to sneakily give me a breakfast taco, but I had to tell her thank you. So that's Megan. Megan brought us tacos. All right. The beauty of a fine breakfast taco. So, Matt, that's incredible advice. Folks, there are going to be 60,000 some odd people there. I'll be there. Matt will be there. Adam will be there. We're all on LinkedIn. Connect with us on LinkedIn. If you want to meet up while we're there, we'd love to do that. Let's use the booth as a place to connect. But find people. I know a lot of tech people can tend to be a little, I'll say the word introverted, a little keep to yourself, but this is the time to pop out of your shell a little bit. Meet the people standing in line next to you, meet the people sitting next to you in the keynotes and then the different sessions. Find out what they do, learn something from them. By the way, as a recovering introvert, I'll tell you the best way to deal with your introversion is to ask questions and let other people talk, and you'll learn something along the way. So there's my advice for the week. Ask questions, let other people talk, learn some stuff, meet some people. Well, Adam and Matt, thank you so much for being on the program here today, and I will see you in a mere inside 2 weeks, 1.5 weeks. We're going to be there. Cannot even believe it. All right, so we chewed through all the time when we would normally do news from the cloud and all that sort of thing. But I do want to remind you about, if you want to get any other information, you can head over to rackspace.com/solve. We have all of our research paper information there, all of our blog articles are there, infographics, links to the podcast, links to the live streams are there as well. So head over to rackspace.com/solve and check that out. Also, huge thank you as always to our friends at App Dynamics. They will be at reInvent. Who's not going to be at reInvent, really? I think we have us a little event going on there as well. So we want to make sure if you're into this whole serverless cloud native environment, well, I want to encourage you to check out Full Stack Observability as it's available through App Dynamics. Great partners over there. Now, next week, what's on the show? I'll tell you what's on the show. Nothing. It's Thanksgiving week, and we're not going to do a live. The next time that you see us live, it will be from, well, we've got game day on Monday. If you're going to be a part of that, you want to be there at game day. Okay, Matt, what is game day? Tell the good people what game day is.
Game day is a quick hour or hour and a half competition that they have Monday. reInvent, get people to come in, get them engaged. There's a technical challenge for them to do. They'll be paired up with a team, and you'll be able to complete that challenge for a score. And you'll be judged against everyone else to see how you do to ultimately get a ranking.
Awesome. So make sure you're there at game day. And then, of course, we will be live on Tuesday morning at 6:30 a.m. Pacific time, or reInvent time, as we like to say. And got people waving at me from all over the place. But we talked a lot about Nights of AI. I am told by producer Daniel that he's got a video. So we're going to go out on the video. Folks, thanks for being here. I'll see you in 2 weeks from reInvent. With that, with that, Daniel, roll video. Roll tape as they
Hi, I'm Adam Fanello. I'm a principal software architect at Anika by Rackspace Technology. Come join us at reInvent in booth 244 and play Knights of AI. It's a fun game that I helped build, and I'll be there to tell you how we built it.